All right, people. Today we just have a quick tabletop review. I haven't shot this gun yet, but I was really excited to get my hands on one. This is the Shadow Systems CR920. CR stands for covert roll. As you can see, this is a very subcompact firearm. So there's a lot of confusion as to what role this weapon fits in. But first, we're just going to do a top level overall rundown, about 5 minutes of everything. So first of all, proprietary mags or steel mags. This is something that's been a big bone of contention for a lot of people in the firearms community regarding this weapon, but we'll get there eventually. So just going kind of tip to tail. We have green dot tritium night sights, blacked out rears. As you can see, this is an elite model. There are directional serrations on the top. You have a plate here to mount an optic directly to the slide. I have a 407K that I'm going to mount on this. Obviously, directional serrations on the front and rear. You have a nice little window cut here. The one difference here is the thumb ledge from the MR920. This isn't so much a ledge, but there is some texturing there. I hope that's coming up on the camera. Right there, as you can see. Standard pick rail, unlike, your Glock 26s or even your SIG P365s that have a proprietary rail. This one is just a regular pick rail, so you could put lights, lasers, whatever you want on it. Double undercut trigger guard. This is Shadow Systems proprietary trigger. I know it looks like an Overwatch Precision, is not. Textured magazine release. Their standard stippling that we're familiar with from their MR920 series. So safety check this gun, it's clear. This is their MR920 Elite, so basically the big brother to this one. This one is also clear as well, as we can see. Safety check. So as you can see, definitely very similar guns, right? Very similar firearms, but this one is clearly a subcompact and is much, much thinner. So this is basically a Glock 43, 43X in a double stack package. So moving down, one thing I really like is this kind of hump bevel, what have you, so that you don't pinch your hands, because that's one big problem with a lot of subcompacts is you pinch the shit out of your hands when you're going to load it. And then also it comes with a 13 round mag that gives you a full purchase on the gun itself. One really cool thing that they're doing, and I hope this comes up, is you could see this to take the base plate off and do some cleaning. This comes off and it's mechanically impossible for this to be open and be inside the gun. So that's pretty cool there. They have a slight beveling around the magwell. This magwell is tiny. It's very tiny. And I'm going to compare this to a 43 and a 26 shortly. Nice high beaver tail. They removed some material here. Again, very similar to the MR920. Blacked out rears. And they have their Shadow Systems logo here, as well as another one here, and then there's some on the magazines as well. There you go. So overall, 3.5-inch barrel. So this makes it a compact, or a subcompact rather. It is a fluted match grade nitrided barrel, and then it breaks down just like any other Glock. As you can see, this has 0 rounds through it right now. So we're doing a quick tabletop. But yeah, disassembles rather just like any other Glock. So where does this fit? A lot of people think that this is supposed to be their answer to the Glock 26. It's supposed to be their answer to the Glock 43. It's actually neither. It's actually both. So I know that doesn't make a lot of sense. Actually, before we do that, let's do a quick, you know me, I'm a trigger snob. So we're going to see what exactly this trigger pull is at. They said it's slightly more than their... So that's 5, almost 6 pounds. They said it's slightly more than the MR920, around 5.5, 6 pounds, because it is a fully concealed carry gun. 4.10, that's probably user error. My guess is this is probably going to come in around 5.5 pounds. 5.9 or 5 pounds, 9 ounces. And that's after 3. This is number 4. That one I completely missed the bar on. It's saying 8.7. So just say a little over 5 pounds. Now let's talk about the reset. Tactile. No over travel. That's pretty crazy. Like, that's where it reset, and that's where we're at. A little bit of mush, not a lot though. Reset. I'm at the wall. Break. Now compare that to a MR920. There's a little bit of creep, a little bit of uptake. See that? So very similar triggers, but as you can see, the same styling, the same craftsmanship. This one, as I mentioned, has a bigger ledge than this one, but obviously this is a concealed carry weapon, so you don't want it to have a huge ledge. So now let's talk about real quick where this fits in the roll. Again, safety check Glock 26. They look kind of the same, but let me just tell you, this one's a brick comparatively. And then safety check a Glock 43. And this has a +1 extender in it, so this is a 7-round gun. This one's a 10-round stock. So here's where the rubber really meets the road. Look at how much smaller this gun is than this one. On the right, Glock 26 Gen 4. On the left, Shadow Systems CR920. As you can see, there is a stark difference in how big the magazine well is. And this is the crazy part, or rather the grip frame is. They're both 10-round guns. This one right now is holding 10+1. And it's shorter. It's actually shorter. Or almost shorter than the Glock 26. Now, when it comes to a Glock 43, which is probably the closest one with respect to the width of it, look at the length. Look at this. So this magazine on this 43 under here is actually a hair longer, and it only holds 7 rounds. I have another one right here. This is my Extendo magazine. This is my backup magazine for this gun. This one holds +2. We're not going to rack it because these are hot rounds. So that holds 8+1. That holds 10. That holds 10+1. And now 13+1. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a Glock killer, but I'm saying that they took perfection and made it more perfect, if that makes sense. And again, same width, same overall length, more or less. There's like, a 1/4 inch difference. Blacked out rears. This, I added these Hackathorn sights to. And as you can see, it's basically the same size gun, but this one is 13 rounds double stack. This one's 8 round single stack. So again, we'll take this weapon, make sure it's clear. This one, make sure it's clear. So yeah, first impressions of this gun, I'm blown away. As soon as I took it out of the bag, I was like, this is insane. It's just like they took a shrink ray and used it on an MR920, and I have maybe 5,000-6,000 rounds to this gun. This again has the, there we go. This is a 2 MOA dot, I believe, on here, but this has a threaded barrel. It's got the whole 9. I already did a video on this. This one is going to have a 6 MOA dot that lives on the top, but you already have those tritium night sights, direct mount. If I'm really digging just out of the box without really running this thing in some run and gun scenarios, as you can see, like a standard subcompact, I got a little pinky dangle, but it's got 10 rounds in it. I mean, it holds just as much as a Glock in a much thinner package, a Glock 26 rather, in a much thinner package, much more control. I mean, this thing just feels chunkier, and if I put the actual magazine for this one with a Pierce extension, even so, like, you could see how much real estate I'm losing in my hand. And with this one, it's there. Now, if we add a 13-round mag to this, full purchase, I mean, I could control it. I have index points. It's super thin. It conceals very well. It's just it's a well-made firearm. Not that Glocks aren't. But with Shadow Systems, I just feel like they over-engineer it, and they really think about the little details. And the little details being like this beaver tail. You see how high my hand sits on this and the natural point of aim I have? While we're talking about natural point of aim, that's the one thing the CR920 doesn't have that the MR920 does. These back straps are removable. This one does not have that because there's really not a lot of real estate to work with. Conversely, when you have this one, there is quite a bit of real estate. But it feels the same in the hand. It points the same. The ergs are very similar. This one I know is a thinner gun. It feels like a single stack, but it is a double stack. But overall, I mean, I'm blown away. I'm going to put a few hundred rounds through this before I actually do a formal review. But as you can see, it is a very well engineered, very well made firearm by Shadow Systems. And this is the CR920, which stands for Covert Roll 920. And I'll check back in with a range report. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Drop a comment below. If there's any particular questions you have on the gun, please let me know. And I will give you guys my full report. Again, this was just a quick tabletop. I'm going to go put rounds through it tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. And actually mount a red dot on top of it. So this is A-Zone Reviews, out.